Gluten-free diet, homemade soups. Winter is here again, which means short days and long dark nights. The bitter cold sets in, making it very unappealing to venture out into the frigid air. Lounging by a warm fire eating hot soup sounds more appealing to the imagination than going to work or running endless errands. So, after fighting the crowds at the grocery store and bringing home the purchases, what is on the menu tonight to fulfill the fantasy of sitting around the toasty fire sipping tantalizing soup? For those who are on a gluten-free diet, some wonderful menu choices are all natural beef stew, potato soup, or chicken noodle soup. The first soup to satisfy the gluten-free diet is an all-natural homemade beef stew. Nothing says winter better than this meal. It is mouth-watering down to the last spoonful and very effortless to make. The only skills required for this recipe are chopping vegetables and cutting meat. Sounds easy enough, doesn't it? Here are the ingredients that make this stew fabulous enough to fulfill the fireplace fantasy. Homemade beef broth, onions, carrots, potatoes, celery, roast beef, thyme, basil, pepper, salt, cornstarch, and water are all that are necessary. Once these simple ingredients are combined, boil for 45 minutes and a little rest and relaxation with dinner are in order. Luscious, luscious, luscious are what everyone will be verbalizing. The second soup to satisfy the gluten-free diet is an all-natural potato soup. This recipe is not any more complicated than the beef stew. In fact, it is probably less complicated, if that is possible. This soup is milk-based, but those on a dairy-free diet can use coconut milk. The coconut milk produces a magnificent texture that entices the taste buds. With coconut milk, potatoes, celery, carrots, paprika, salt, pepper, cornstarch, and water, soup will be on the table after the fireplace is rocking with warmth. The whole family will gather around asking where this delicious recipe came from, hoping that it will be made again soon. The third soup to fill the gluten-free diet is an all-natural chicken noodle soup. Oh, if the others had not caused nostalgia to set in, this one surely will. This soup will leave anyone longing for the days of visiting Grandma as she produced homemade noodles with a homemade chicken broth. There weren't any artificial ingredients scattered in her cooking entourage. She made this soup with such tender loving care that it made the grandkids desire to never leave. The only problem is that Grandma never had to worry about gluten-free noodles. So, this recipe will leave nostalgia with modern allergies taken into account. All that is needed for this recipe is homemade chicken broth, chicken, gluten-free noodles, celery, carrots, thyme, pepper, and salt. After this appetizing soup is complete, head for the hearth and prop the feet up without a care in the world. Gluten-free diet, homemade soups. Winter is here again, which means short days and long dark nights. The bitter cold sets in, making it very unappealing to venture out into the frigid air. Lounging by a warm fire eating hot soup sounds more appealing to the imagination than going to work or running endless